watching Where Are They Now with your host, Dianne Hart. Now here's Dianne.
Good evening. Welcome to Where Are They Now on Detroit Hot TV. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Edward Anthony Green, aka T Money Green, an American bass player, record producer, Grammy award-winning songwriter. Good evening, Mr. Green. How are you?
I'm doing beautiful here in Detroit, sunny Detroit.
Wonderful.
You know, it's getting close to winter.
Oh, okay. Well, hot summer, stormy Florida. Everybody wants to know some things about you, so let's get started. Where are you from?
I'm from Detroit, born and raised.
East side, west side?
Well, I live off of I guess it's the northwest side. I live more on an outer drive, 7 mile area. I guess that's northwest.
What school did you attend?
I attended Pastor Elementary, Hampton Junior High, and Mumford High School. I went to this school called Northwestern for a minute, but Mumford is where I found my true gift in music and, expanded there.
How old were you when you started playing the bass?
Maybe like 14. My stepfather's, rest in peace, but he was a very popular jazz bassist. And in our basement, everybody from Esther Phillips to Gloria Lynn to Sonny Stitt to Spanky Wilson, all of those jazz greats used to rehearse in my basement because my dad, a lot of those groups couldn't bring their musicians. So what they would do is link up with a person like my dad that could sight read. And then he knew all of the musicians that sight read. And they wouldn't need but one rehearsal and they knew the whole show. So, I think that encouraged me to want to play. But it didn't really happen until the Mumford Talent Show in 1969 that made me say I was going to play bass. Because that bass player was kicking ass that night. That's what got me going.
Let me ask you this. How old were you when you recorded your very first song?
I might have probably been about 16, 17. I started playing for the Dramatics when I was 17. Prior to that, when I met Ron, I was a year younger, and he was going in the studio, and he said he wanted me to go. And it was funny. We got there, and they were like, Ron, you were supposed to have been here. So the studio time got canceled. Then we did it the next day, and it was pretty good. I was a natural in there. Because studio can kind of intimidate you if you let it. But I know how to play. I started getting to know how to play my guitar, and that's all that really mattered. I felt like I was somebody, playing it. So I wasn't going to let no mistakes happen or nothing like that on my part.
So at 17, you were absolutely certain that was going to be what you were going to be doing.
Well, yeah, at 17, it was written in stone already. At 14, 15, when I was introduced to it, I realized this was what I was going to do. It only took me from 14 to 17 to be good enough to be with a group like the Dramatics. When I look back on it, I say, wow, that was, pretty great to go right from high school into, traveling on the road with the Dramatics. At 17, that was just God-given, and I was protected, and I had a lot of fun.
Let's talk a little bit about who were some of your major influencers that you were looking at. You did tell me that you heard somebody playing, so that was one of the people, I guess, that influenced you. But who else influenced you to continue to play that?
Yeah, the talent show was Reggie McBride, first of all.
Okay.
And then after that, I'd say Ron Banks was a really big influence because he had to come and ask my mother, could I go on the road with the Dramatics? And he explained to her that how much money I would be making and everything. And she was like, hell yeah, take him. So, but I liked people like Graham Central Station back then, Sly and the Family Stone, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was a big influence on me, even making me play upside down today. The Fender guitar has a distinctive head. Anyway, his head was facing up because he was playing left-handed. I'm right-handed, but we had the same kind of guitar at home, so I flipped it up like his, not knowing about, not thinking right or left. After about 2 months, my dad caught me playing his bass, and he was like, what you doing? I said, well, Dad, I'm thinking about playing bass, man. I've been practicing. He said, put that down. You playing upside down. You'll never play like that. But by then, I knew like 5 or 6 songs. I thought he was player hating. I'm like, whoa. So I just stayed playing like that. And a lot of his professional friends just say, hey, Will, let him go. Let's just see what happens, instead of trying to discourage him because it wasn't working. So it was like, let's just see what happens. And I came out to be one of the best ones out there. He was like, I'm glad you didn't listen to me, especially once I started helping him pay a lot of bills and stuff, I play upside down because of Jimi Hendrix.
Well, we're going to take a break and then we'll come right back. We're going to play one of the songs that you have written, and it's Welcome Back Home. And then we'll talk a little bit on the other side of the break as to what inspired that song and who wrote it and who played it and that kind of stuff. So let's take a break and we'll be right back.
I've had you on my mind all the time, running in and out of my mind. I'm not too blind to see, lady, all the happiness you bring to me. Oh, baby, you make me feel fancy free. Now, honey, my life was just a mess. What I should have done was just confess that I love you. I'm the friend, I really do love you. Really love you. So welcome back home, where you belong. I'm the one that loves you. I'm the one that loves you.
back to Where Are They Now on Detroit Hot TV. I'm your host, Dianne Hart, and my special guest this evening is the legendary T Money Green. What a bad jam. What inspired that song?
Me, Ron Banks, and a guy named Raymond Johnson and Darnell Kimbrough, we wrote that song. I can't really say, was it something that inspired it, but what it was, we were all doing our part. Like Ron Banks was writing the lyrics. I was making up the bass line. The other guy was playing the keyboards, so it just came together like that. But what ended up happening, that was the Dramatics' last top 10 song. So I felt pretty good to be able to, be involved in that kind of situation.
I understand that you are a Grammy award-winning bass player. I see a record back on the wall.
That's a gold record from the Dramatics, which has been hanging up there since 1977. So that's been up there a long time. It's one of those that when you move it, you just see a big, square on the wall. It's 4 songs on there that I had a lot to do with. I wrote 3, and then I helped arrange the hit, which was on there, Do What You Want to Do. So that's the Do What You Want to Do Dramatics album.
Oh, okay. Let's talk a little bit about some of the folk that you have collaborated with, because I know you've collaborated with many. I got to know a little bit about you.
Okay. Yeah. So the fact that after I left the Dramatic and stumbled up on being with Death Row Records, the musical director for that. So it was before Snoop, became really famous, and Dr. Dre, each one of them, and Warren G and Ice Cube and all of those guys I had a chance to work with. And, George Clinton, I brought him to Death Row because Dre loved George Clinton. He had never met him. So I knew George really good because I wrote a song with George in 1980 called One of Those Funky Things. And then I brought the Dramatics to Death Row too, because Snoop was crazy about the Dramatics. So we did that video, Doggy Dog World. So I've collaborated with over a couple hundred different people on all kind of levels. But as far as the Dramatics and Five Special, we had hit records with Five Special, myself and Ron Banks and Raymond Johnson. The 3 of us wrote some really good songs. I think if Ron would have wrote a little bit better lyric, people probably would do our songs. Lyrics have a lot to do with it. So I'm like, damn, Ron, you should have wrote some better lyrics. People have been using our music because like October London, the new artist that Snoop had, his song Do What You Do is really us, the intro to Do What You Want to Do on the Dramatics album. Oh. So he just wrote lyrics to that whole little jam of us playing. So they're starting to take our music. The song I wrote with George Clinton has been sampled maybe 40 times. So I've been getting checks from different ways. I remember the first time I got a check and it said Headbanger. And I knew I didn't write no song called Headbanger, but the check was $4,200 and they had my name on it. I'm like... So somebody said, well, call the record company and ask about it. And I called the record company. I said, I got a check with my name on it, but the song, I never wrote Headbanger. And then the guy explained to me how that was the George Clinton song, and it had been sampled by EPMD, and they called it Headbanger. And I was like, good, because I was about to do some fraud, man. I was cashing that check.
So I'm sure at this point you get lots of checks for pieces of music.
Yeah, that's some good and there's some bad to that because you learn how to do the right things when you get money. And, music, when you get those checks, they don't take taxes out. So that's all your responsibility.
Wow, I did not know that.
Sometimes you don't find that out until you're made about enough to get in trouble, probably.
Now you are millions of dollars. I'm in trouble.
Yeah. They were like, damn, you just stopped me before I got to $1 million.
Right. Yeah. Now you want all my money.
Right, yeah. Now, money you don't have, you got to try to figure out where to get it at. It's been an exciting journey, to say the least.
Yeah. So do you have any new music that you're writing right now or getting ready to release or something?
Well, here's the thing. I got a catalog of about 1,500 songs. I've been doing lately is taking songs out of the catalog and making an album out of it. Back in 95, I released 2 CDs called Organized Chaos, Hour 1 and Hour 2. Last year, I released Organized Chaos, Hour 3. And just now, I just finished Organized Chaos, Hour 4 and 5 that I'll be releasing in a month. Sitting around at home, not doing you any good. And the thing is, I didn't want to release these things streaming. I don't really like this new way of streaming. I like when we used to press records and press CDs and press cassettes, put them in the store on consignment, go back, and sometimes you done sold out, or sometimes you only sold a couple. But I just missed that way. I talked to Snoop, and he was like, T, you might as well stream. He said, because something could go viral overnight. Like, I could wake up, you got 500,000 views. Each one of these CDs I have like 18 songs on them. So I'm just throwing tons of songs out there. I got unreleased songs on the Dramatics, unreleased songs on Keith Washington. Keith Washington need these songs. You know, he'll be back in business. So I got unreleased songs on a lot of people. And another thing that I noticed in my vault that's sad is the amount of people that are not here anymore.
Oh.
Songs last longer than we do. And a lot of people are gone, but they sound fresh as a daisy on the records in the vault. I still have to put those songs out because the reason why we cut those songs back there is because we believed in them. And I just think people should hear them.
Absolutely. I understand that Detroit Hot Radio has been playing your song with the group Roadwork. Is that a band or something that you had there playing?
Yeah, I have a band, Roadwork. Roadwork started in 1972. So every time I do a band, I call it Roadwork. So there's been 20 different Roadworks. It's always me in them, but it's different people. So now the band I've had for like 14 years. And we do all the weed shows, like, you know, we play the marijuana concerts and stuff like that. We do a lot of those kind of shows. We got a big show coming up November 10th at a place called the Magic Bag here in Detroit. That's a nice theater, and we want to jam-pack that. It's 3 acts performing. And Roadwork, we cut a lot of stuff in the studio, too. I just haven't really released any of our stuff, except for this one we did when Katrina hit, and it was called Is It Over? It's a video, too, on YouTube. And the funny thing is we did it for Katrina, the disaster, and there's been so many disasters, so that song will never go away. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just every time we turn around, it's another disaster. I mean, you right there in Florida. Closer,
we're going to have a disaster.
Yeah. Is It Over? Look for it on YouTube. It's a really great song.
And we're going to take our second break, and we're going to listen to Gin and Juice, and we'll be right back.
So much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O-double G. But I somehow, someway keep coming up with funky ass hits like every single day. May I kick a little something for the G's and make a few ends as I breeze through 2 in the morning and the party still jumping cause my mama ain't home. I got some freaks in the living room getting it on, and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. So what you wanna do? I got a pocket full of rubbers and my homeboys do too. So turn off the lights and close the doors. But what? We don't love them now. Yeah. So we gon' blow up to this. G's up, freeze up for a second now. Bounce to this.
Rolling down the street, smoking, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
I got me some Seagram's gin. Everybody got their cups, but they ain't chipped in. Now these types of things happen all the time. You gotta get yours, but fool, I gotta get mine. See, everything is fine when you're listening to the D.O.G. I got the cultivating music that be captivating he who listens to the words that I speak as I take me a drink to the middle of the street and get to Mac into this trick named Sadie. She used to be my homeboy's lady. 80 degrees when I tell that trick, please raise up off these NUTs, cause you get none of these. At ease. As I mob with the dog pound, feel the breeze. Say you know I'm just
rolling down the street, smoking, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Rolling down the street, smoking, sipping on gin and juice.
Laid back.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Later on that day, my homie Dr. Dre came through with a gang of Tangeray and a fat ass of some bubonic that made me choke. This ain't no joke, I had to back up off of it and sip my cup